Have you ever wondered who talks more, men or women? It's one of those questions that sparks heated debates and fuels stereotypes. But what does science actually say? In this video, we dive into research and uncover the surprising truths behind how men and women communicate. You'll discover fascinating insights that may challenge what you thought you knew. Whether it's at work, at home, or in social settings, understanding the dynamics of speech between genders can help you navigate conversations better. So, if you've ever caught yourself thinking, "Why do they talk so much?" This video is for you. Ready to bust some myths and learn how communication styles differ? Let's jump right in. So, who talks more in your household? Let us know in the comments. Studies on communication have long explored the differences between men and women when it comes to talking. One of the most well-known claims is that women speak more than men, with some suggesting that women use up to 20,000 words per day compared to 7,000 words for men. However, this widely cited statistic has little scientific backing. The real story is far more nuanced and surprising. More recent studies, including research conducted by the University of Arizona, show that both men and women speak roughly the same number of words per day, around 16,000. This debunks the myth that women are inherently more talkative. In fact, speech frequency can vary based on context, personality, and social setting rather than gender alone. While men and women may talk the same amount, their communication styles often differ. Research shows that women tend to use more expressive, relational language, focusing on emotions and personal experiences. Men, on the other hand, may adopt a more direct, task-oriented style, especially in professional settings. These differences reflect social conditioning and cultural expectations rather than any biological necessity. It's important to consider the environment in which conversations take place. In some situations, such as social gatherings or informal chats, women might speak more openly and at length. However, studies show that in professional settings, men often dominate conversations, especially in leadership roles or when making decisions. The number of words spoken can shift based on power dynamics and situational factors. Finally, personality traits play a significant role in how much people talk. Extroverted individuals, regardless of gender, tend to speak more than their introverted counterparts. This shows that gender is not the sole factor influencing communication. In fact, our personal traits and the social context around us often dictate how much or how little we speak. One of the most persistent myths is that women talk significantly more than men. Popular culture and media often portray women as chatterboxes, especially in comparison to the more reserved image of men. This stereotype has been reinforced for decades, but scientific research shows that this isn't accurate. As we've seen, men and women generally speak the same amount on average, but the stereotype persists. Another common myth is that women are all about conversation while men are action-oriented. This oversimplifies gender roles and doesn't reflect the diversity of human behavior. Men are just as capable of engaging in deep, meaningful conversations, and women are equally effective in taking decisive action. These roles are shaped by culture and expectations, not biology. There's also a belief that men, especially in leadership positions, are strong and silent types, using fewer words to assert power. While this may apply to some individuals, it's not a universal truth. In fact, studies have shown that in certain leadership contexts, men tend to speak more, especially in group settings, to assert dominance or guide decisions. Media representations often exaggerate gender differences in communication. Movies, TV shows, and even news outlets depict women as overly emotional and verbose, while men are portrayed as concise and logical. These portrayals skew public perception and contribute to misunderstanding. It's important to critically analyze these depictions and recognize the variety of communication styles across both genders. In truth, men and women share more similarities than differences in how they communicate. Social roles, personality, and situational context play a much larger role than gender alone. By focusing on these aspects, we can move past outdated myths and better understand how communication functions in different environments, freeing ourselves from unnecessary assumptions. In professional environments, the dynamics of speech often reveal how power and gender intersect. For instance, studies show that in meetings, men are more likely to interrupt and dominate conversations, especially when in leadership roles. However, companies that encourage balanced communication between genders tend to foster more collaboration and innovation. This highlights the importance of creating spaces where everyone feels heard, regardless of gender. In more casual, social situations, traditional roles often play out differently. Women might engage in longer, more detailed conversations, focusing on building relationships, while men might keep discussions more topic-driven and concise. But even here, individual personalities and social contexts shape these interactions. It's key to recognize that both styles have value, depending on the situation and purpose of the conversation. Communication is essential in any relationship, but it's often where gender stereotypes surface most. The belief that women over-communicate in romantic relationships while men under-communicate can lead to misunderstandings. In reality, relationship success often depends on finding a balance in communication styles. Couples who adapt and learn to appreciate each other's ways of expressing thoughts and emotions typically enjoy stronger, healthier connections. In educational settings, teachers often observe that boys and girls communicate differently, especially in group projects. However, promoting equal participation helps break the stereotype that boys are less verbal and girls are more talkative. Educators who encourage dialogue from both genders create more inclusive and dynamic learning environments, helping all students express themselves confidently. Ultimately, recognizing that communication styles are influenced more by context and personality than by gender can improve interactions in all areas of life. Whether at work, in friendships, or in personal relationships, being aware of these differences can help people communicate more effectively. Understanding that men and women are more alike in their speech than previously believed can help dispel stereotypes and lead to more balanced, respectful conversations. If this topic intrigued you, make sure to subscribe and leave a like to support the channel. And if you're curious to explore more about how culture and identity shape the way we communicate, don't miss our next video. Why do gay people sound like gay people? In that video, we'll uncover how societal expectations impact speech patterns and what it means for different communities.